Hello, welcome to Kevlar's Quest, the Morning Life podcast. I'm Kevin Ejezi. Today's quest is the contradiction in female independence. The contradiction in female independence. We live in a time where independence is celebrated, especially financial independence. For many women, there is this deep fear of ever being completely dependent on a man. It's almost like a rule that has been passed down. Always have your own money. But here's the funny part. Many also enjoy not paying for things. And when you think about it, that makes sense. If you spend your own money, you are reducing your independence because it's coming out of your own pocket. So having your own money while also using someone else's money becomes a kind of strategy. It's a way of saying, I'm independent, but I'm also smart enough to let someone else carry part of the load. Now, marriage today is complicated. In most cases, both partners have to keep working. Houses are expensive, lifestyles are expensive, and the default now is two incomes. But that creates a strange situation. The man works all day to earn money, and often someone else, like a daycare worker or nanny, ends up raising his kids. Meanwhile, the woman works all day to maintain her independence, but she spends those hours obeying a boss who isn't her husband. So it now becomes like the nanny or the daycare worker is also the same thing like your wife, because the nanny is working for you and you are paying her, and your wife is also working for a boss in the office who is also paying her. So both of them, both the nanny and your wife, are independent. Whereas at home, they still have to rely on you. And that's a contradiction, because if they say they are independent, why are they still dependent on you? So it's a kind of contradiction. It feels like a loop that doesn't make much sense. If the goal is to raise a family, wouldn't it be simpler for the mother to raise her own kids? And if someone has to be obeyed in the whole mix of all this, if someone has to be obeyed, wouldn't it make more sense for you to be the person you choose to build a life with, which is your husband, rather than a stranger at work who you call your boss? Think about it this way. If a woman says, I don't want to rely on a man, but then goes to work for a man, isn't that the same thing with extra steps? On the other hand, you could see it as a kind of victory. Imagine saying, I've got this man, my husband, who spends his days working hard for me and the kids, and I love being with him. Isn't that a win? You've managed to create a life where someone else is doing the heavy lifting, while you get to focus on what matters most to you. So maybe independence isn't just about money. Maybe it's about perspective, the way women see things. Maybe it's about perspective. They just want to have that money coming from another person. So it's not really about them being independent. It's that they are afraid of being dependent on the person that they have chosen to build a life with, which is ironical. If you trust the person enough, why do you need to be working so much, working your ass off in order to make sure that you make money, and not even for the family, but to have a sense of independence for yourself? That is kind of selfish, and that is the contradiction right there. And at the end of the day, it's the nanny that will have to train the kids rather than you. That is why sometimes you see some ladies are not even closer to their kids the way the nannies or the daycare worker is to the children. Some of them even go to the extent of thinking that the daycare worker is their mother. So this is the contradiction in promoting female independence. Not that it's not good for ladies to be independent, but what is your perspective towards it? How do you look at it? Do you look at it out of fear, or do you look at it out of a way to support the family in your own way, and also be able to hold your family together and build your family and train your kids and love your man the way you really want to? So that's our quest for today. Please subscribe, like, and share. Someone out there needs to hear this message. Maybe someone like you. Let's spread strength and clarity to those navigating this journey. We'll talk more in future episodes. Let me know your thoughts. Thanks for listening and take care.